All right, everybody, welcome back. My guest today is the guest. He survived San Quentin, and instead of letting that define the end of his story, he made it the beginning of one that's now changed thousands of lives.
Thank you, Kurt. I'm happy to be here. I'll start with this prove them wrong because there's an end to your life and it's coming sooner than you think. It goes by fast. Just yesterday, I was a 14-year-old kid behind a wall that wasn't supposed to let me out. Just yesterday, I was somebody's cellmate. Now I'm in front of you. It goes by in a flicker, and at some point it's going to be over. What do you want? What do you do? Why aren't you doing it? Because of a feeling. What will they think? What will they say? It's not possible. I don't make decisions based on how I feel. I make decisions based on who I am, and who I am is a child of God. So every decision, every action either moves me closer to who I want to be here on earth, or it doesn't. Pick your actions. They matter. Is what you're doing right now moving you closer to being her, to being him? That's the barometer, not how you feel today, who you're becoming, who are you when nobody's watching. What's the real difference you're making? Because you can win in big ways. I know a little about that now. Stages, book deals, rooms full of people who paid to hear me talk. It's real, and I want you to have it too. But I'll tell you the truth. It's the small things, the ones no one will ever know you did, that you'll be proudest of when it's over. That's the actual definition of who you are as a man or a woman. It's who you are in the moments nobody's grading. There's a destiny you're supposed to fulfill. There's people only you can reach because of what you survived to get here. There's a difference only you can make in your voice, with your scars, your life, your way, not mine, not the stage, not the jet, not the book cover, your precious life, your beautiful, unrepeatable life, your soul, your gifts, your difference. I want you to win.
Raul, you talk about decisions coming from who you are, not how you feel. Where did that shift actually start for you? Tell us about the boy who built a wall.
I've spent a lot of my life trying to disqualify myself. People who know my story now, the version with the stages and the books, they still sometimes look at me and go, not you, not with what you did, not with where you've been. And for years, I agreed with them. Here's why. When you grow up the way I grew up, around violence, around men proving who they were with their fists, or worse, you learn fast that being soft gets you hurt. So you build something, not a personality, a wall with a face on it. I built mine at 7 years old, an alter ego, a version of me that could survive what the real 7-year-old couldn't carry, the fear, the trauma, the nights that no child should have to get through. That alter ego kept me alive. He got me through the streets. He got me through things I'm not going to describe from a stage because some things a man carries privately. He eventually got me through San Quentin. But here's what nobody tells you about the wall you build to survive. It doesn't know when the danger's over. It just keeps building. And so I carried that armor long after I needed it into relationships, into fatherhood, into rooms where the only thing anybody wanted from me was for me to just be there, undefended. There's a moment in Blood In, Blood Out. Some of you know this movie. It's practically scripture where I'm from, where you watch a man split in two right in front of you. One version trying to survive the yard, and the boy underneath still trying to get home to who he actually was. I didn't need the movie to know that story. I was living it.
So what actually broke through? Because it sounds like it wasn't a stage or a seminar that changed you.
The breakthrough didn't come from a stage or a seminar. It came from a pastor. He didn't preach at me. He told me to be quiet. He said, Raul, I don't need you to talk right now. I need you to sit still and let your mind go quiet and let God meet you in it. I remember thinking that sounded impossible for a mind like mine. A mind trained since childhood to never stop scanning the room for the next threat. But I did it. I sat in that stillness and I prayed. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't performing, wasn't defending, wasn't managing anybody's perception of me. I was just there. And in that quiet, something in me finally turned around and looked at the boy I'd been protecting for over 20 years. I finally understood. The alter ego wasn't the enemy. He was never the problem. He was a 7-year-old's genius solution to an impossible situation. He was loyalty, he was love, dressed up as armor, because nobody had shown that boy any other way to survive. I didn't need to destroy him. I needed to thank him. And then I needed to let the real boy, the one underneath, finally come home. That's not a metaphor I read somewhere. That's the actual day my healing started. Not when I stopped surviving, when I stopped needing to.
A lot of people in this room are carrying something they think disqualifies them. What would you say to that?
We all walk around carrying the same bag. I'm not qualified. I've got the bankruptcy, the failed marriage, the thing I did that you don't know about, the thing I'm still ashamed of. I'm here to tell you that's not what disqualifies you. That's your resume. You are the only human being alive with your exact combination of gifts and your exact combination of scars. And real people don't get healed by perfect people. They get healed by somebody who can look them in the eye and say, I know exactly where you are because I've been lower. I know that shame. I know that 3 a.m. ceiling staring. I know what it costs to keep pretending you're fine. Every mistake I made on the way to San Quentin and every mistake I made after I got out, I used to think each one disqualified me a little more from ever being allowed to help anybody. I had it backwards the entire time. Every single one of them was tuition. Every one of them is the reason I can sit across from a man who thinks his life is over and tell him with zero performance in my voice, no, it's not. I know because I thought mine was too.
You mentioned a coach who changed how you think about success, not just in business, but in belief. What did he teach you?
Here's the second thing that changed my life, and it didn't come from a pastor. It came from a real estate investor. He was the first coach I ever paid for. And I remember sitting across from him thinking I was there to learn about fourplexes and cap rates and cash flow. What he actually taught me had almost nothing to do with real estate. He said, Raul, the fastest way to succeed at anything is to learn from somebody who's already proven they know how to do it. Stop trying to figure it out alone. Find the person with the track record and trust the track record more than you trust your fear. But then he said the part that actually rearranged something in me. He said, none of that matters. None of it until you take the action. You can hire the best mentor alive and still fail if you won't move. He said I had to break my fear of failure before I could break into anything else. I had to actually believe, not hope, believe that this was possible for somebody like me, somebody with my record, somebody with my start. And here's what I've told myself every day since. I am not as far away from what I'm building as I think I am. The gap isn't the world's fault and it isn't circumstance. The gap is that I behave in accordance with how far away I believe it is. The moment I started believing I was close, I started acting like I was close. And the moment I started acting like I was close, I got close. You're not as far from your life as you think you are either. But if you keep believing it's far, you'll keep behaving like it's far. And that belief will keep it exactly that distance from you forever. That's not motivation. That's just how belief works. It's a mechanism, not a mood.
You talk about linking confidence to intention instead of ability. Break that down for us.
I used to think my confidence had to come from what I'd accomplished. The problem with that is simple. Achievement is a moving target. The minute you hit it, it moves. So you're always one step behind your own confidence, chasing something that keeps relocating. Here's what changed it for me, and this one's simple enough to write on your hand. Stop linking your confidence to your ability. Link it to your intention. Because if my confidence is I'm confident because I'm good at this, then the day I'm not good, the day I bomb, the day the deal falls through, the day I say the wrong thing to my own kid, my confidence collapses with it. But if my confidence is I'm confident because my intention is to genuinely help the person in front of me, that never collapses. That's not conditional on outcome. I walk into every room, every stage, every coaching call, every conversation with my own children, and I ask myself one question before anything else. What's my intention here? If the intention's clean, I already know who I am in that room, regardless of how it goes. That's the same thing I learned sitting in that quiet with the pastor. That's the same thing the real estate coach was really teaching me underneath the cap rates. Believe first. Act from belief, not from proof. The proof comes after.
Before we wrap, if there's one thing you want everyone in this room to walk away believing about themselves, what is it?
There's a version of you that's waiting on the other side of your life to meet you. He's not waiting to judge you for the wall you built at 7. He's not waiting to bring up the bankruptcy, the failed year, the thing you haven't told anyone. He's waiting to say, I watched the whole thing. I know how far back you started. I know what you built the armor to survive. And I know the day you finally let the real one underneath come home. You are not as far from him as you think. Your life, your way, your precious, unrepeatable life, I want you to win. You are a champion. You just have to believe you are. You're invited to hang with me. I show you who you are.